Check, baby, check, 1, 2. Now this is a better audio check. Good morning, everybody. Asia, everyone. Why? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show we call, what, ladies and gentlemen? DYOR Live. That's right, I said it twice so you can understand it, remember it, and share it with everybody. As always, if you're watching our show, share this. We need your help getting the word out about our show. That's right. Click that link below. It says share, and share again. Share with your trading group, share with your friends, share with your mom. I don't care. Get it out there as people that want to be edutained. That's edutainment. You get educated and entertained at the same time. And yes, I'm filling in because I haven't got Pedro on the line yet. Pedro said he was going to be here, but right now he's nowhere to be found. Ladies and gentlemen, it is December 19th, 2026. We're in our third trading week of the month. Went a little off key here this morning, or I should say last night. When Asia opened and immediately dumped off $3,000 off the price of Bitcoin. Any manipulation going on there? No. Someone needed a couple of $1 billion, so they just sold it off in about a half hour. And then it's slowly been creeping up. It's essentially, the market's essentially been doing the same thing for the past 72 to 96 hours, except for one big dump off on the weekly open. Very strange. Very, very strange. Anyway, welcome everyone on LinkedIn today. Back on LinkedIn. Thought I'd give you guys another chance there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is normally where I would introduce my good friend and co-host, Mr. Pedro Garcia, but he's not with us today. Not sure where he is. He actually said that he was going to be here. All right, let's get the show started with a little yes. No, it's not the yeah. That's just what I call the song, because in the middle of it, it goes yeah. It's not the band, the yes. Well, it's an interesting weekend in Bitcoin. Very interesting. I'm lying. It was not interesting at all. Here's the weekend. Here's Saturday. Yeah, you can't see that because I'm on the wrong chart. Let's get me on the right chart here. Here's Saturday, right here. Saturday. Nothing. Right? Nothing at all. Sunday. Depending on how people look at the time frames differently. Pedro looks at it at the day starts at 8 p.m. the previous day and ends at 8 p.m. 7:59 and 59 seconds. It follows the Singapore Open, the Asia Open time. Essentially, when the week starts, the trading week, even though in crypto we trade 24 hours a day in perpetuals, a lot of the major markets are contract related, and those have times, and they follow the historical time trading in which Asia opens the week on Singapore time at their 8 a.m., which is roughly our 8 p.m. here. And then it switches to London time when London's the main exchange open. Then it switches to New York, and they all have a little bit of an overlap with each other. And when Asia opened yesterday at 8 p.m., right as the week opens for the people that start exactly on Asia time, boom, the market just dropped out from underneath it. Just boom, as you can see right here. It dropped about $3,400 on Bitcoin. That's just one of those things that you just don't see coming. In fact, before that, we were talking about how the moving averages we're all trading in line together here and moving well together. This is the 5-minute chart, but on the 1-minute chart and 15-minute chart and even 1-hour chart, they're very similar to that. And when they all move together for a while, eventually they have to move apart. They can't trade together forever. And the market, as you can see here, threw us for a little loop here. It started to come up here. Started to come up and even did a little retracement, then started to come back up. This is usually very bullish, and everything started to get above the moving averages. And you think, all right, it's starting to move up. But is it gonna keep moving up? And the answer was no. Asia opened and said, we will see it. In fact, they really got everybody as they sold off, and everybody thought, okay, here it is. Lots of demand wicks here, like Pedro likes to see. Boom, 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 boom. Buying it back up. Okay, that's the bottom. Nope. No. No. Not only did they dump it a little bit further, that was a $500 drop here. Then they brought it back up a little bit, and then they dumped it all the way down. The lowest one being down to 92,000. And then we've been kind of going sideways ever since, with a little bit of pretty much the same Same pattern as before. This is interesting. In the 5-minute chart, we're breaking up above. Looks like we might have the SAM price special here working. Anyway, let's get before I go more into Bitcoin, let's do a little welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Please like, follow, share, chat, comment, subscribe, whatever. Just do it. Let's see how many of the great graphic screens it actually posts on. Did not post on X. Why did it not post on X? I did not pop it out here. All right, let's get the rest of this show started. Turn off the starting soon feature. Let's find the great graphics machine here. Bitcoin trading 93 and change, 93,154. Volume's been low. This is probably why we saw a big dump off from Asia. Not much going on. Oh, today is Martin Luther King Day. I just totally forgot about that. Dr. Martin Luther the King Day, and in the U.S., a lot of institutions are closed today. It's a banking holiday, federal holiday, banking holiday. Most companies don't take time off for this holiday. But when the federal government shuts down, the banks shut down, that means the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is closed, New York Stock Exchange is closed. And so that there's likely a lower volume due to Dr. Martin Luther the King Day. And I do hear one Mexican du jour behind me coming into my ear. Mr. Pedro Garcia. Give me 1 second, Pedro, and I'll get your mic up. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pedro Garcia, crypto chart analyst. Pedro, welcome to the show.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I was
normal
trying to
plan it.
I was actually trying to get here, and I got stuck behind a total douche.
You were looking in the mirror? Oh, boo!
What
Come
does
on,
that
man.
mean?
You were looking.
So what does that mean? I don't even, what?
Boo.
Wait, say that again.
You said you were stuck behind a douche, and I said, "Oh, you were looking in a mirror." Which would insinuate that you were the. Okay, you missed my joke.
I still don't understand it. Oh.
Tell your story, my friend.
No, it was as simple as this guy. I saw him in my back, like as I was driving, and I see him keep going, speeding up and slowing down, speeding up. I'm like, what's that guy doing? And then like he was just behind me as I was trying, and then also I saw him speed up next to me, and so he speeds up. He goes in front of me and then basically kind of cuts me off and speeds up, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And then there's this car up ahead, and he starts going the speed, and I'm like, what's he doing? That's weird. And all of a sudden, as I catch up to him, he's right next to the car, and he's just right behind the car, barely, so that you can't just get by him. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And all of a sudden, so I honk, going, dude, what are you doing? I'm trying to get by, because I was trying to get here. And he started being like a jerk, almost slowing down, and then the car next to him starts slowing down a little. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, why is the car next to him? He's being a douche. why is that person slowing down? And I'm like, and so he slows down to the point where speed limit's 55. He's going 40. They're going 40 miles an hour. And I'm sitting there going like, what the? So literally, I pull out my phone. I just start recording him. You know, like I'm just like, okay. And I show, look at the speed limit. Look at it. And because I'm like, if there's a car accident that happens, I know I'm going to get in trouble. But this guy's being a complete asshole. And, you know, I can fight that in court. And then all of a sudden, he realizes that I'm recording him. and all of a sudden, he just, you know, jams ahead. Yeah. And I start laughing because I'm like, this douche was just literally trying to be a douche. Like legit. And, yeah, sorry I'm late. I would have been here, but.
Except for the douches.
And then as I was coming up here, a little sweet lady next to me was out there taking care of her car. And she's like, hi. It's like 15 degrees. I'm like, oh, dang it. So I jump and help her out, remove the snow off her car. Kind of real quick.
You got to do those things.
Yeah, you can't just let the old lady next to you just be like, have a heart attack. So, and I'm like, Tom is going to kick my butt. And so like, so it was like one of those moments. I finally get here after 10, 15 minutes late going, hey, I'm here. So that's what happened. It's an excuse. I'm sorry there. No, but really no excuse because I should have planned better. Sorry about that. That's why
hey, Joe, we went to bed last night. Sorry, I'm going to switch it over to Bitcoin.
Yep.
But we went to bed last night where everyone just kind of rolling and watching a little TV, and all of a sudden the market just blows up out of Asia. Just says, that's it, we're done. We've had enough of this $95,000 area. We're just going to drop to 92,000 in about 18 minutes. And then nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just continues on like Saturday and Sunday, boring. What the hell happened? What was Asia? I call it like Martha. Asia. They decided to say, you know what, the week's gonna open and we're just gonna sell. We're just gonna sell just to make all your guys' life miserable, wondering what's coming next. What the heck is that kind of move when you're experienced and watching the markets? When Asia just out of the blue just says, screw it, we're gonna sell, and then nothing else happens. Volatility goes to zero, volume is low. What's the story?
That's a great question. Let's look at the actual what actually happened. So we saw the drop off on the higher time frames, right? You can see the 4 hour here drop. Boom, nice little wick down in at this level. You can see here at the 2 hour. Right now, what's one of the things that should be sticking out to you guys that you should be looking at that I always talk about? What do you notice with this drop?
Hold on, I gotta fix your screen feed here. I got two of yous again.
Ooh. Scary times. Twos of me's.
All right, we're good now.
So what is it that I always talk about that? I always say, what should you be noticing?
Wicks.
Yes.
Volume and wicks.
Volume and wicks, exactly. So big O, we have a decent sell-off. We have a small seller wick, small buyer wick. No real baby wick here. We've got a decent wick down at this lower level here.
This is the 2 hour chart he's got up, everyone.
Yeah. Then now let's go into the 1 hour. So we're looking at the 1 hour. No wick at top here. No wick, and then a little small baby wick on the 1 hour and 2 hour, right? So you can see here, it's like, okay. Then we look to the left. Are we near any demand areas? We actually are. You can see here, last week, Tuesday, we're at the kind of like, not necessarily the base, but kind of the explosion where all the volume came in at, right? This is where all the volume came in pushed up. So where there's a previous area of volume, you should have volume again, right? And so we want to then say, where is there potential liquidity? You know, right here, there is stops here. Liquidity are stops. So we want to sit there and see where are the stops at? Because if they were trying to push it up, what do they need? If they want,
they need sellers.
Exactly. Remember, for every buy, you need a seller. And so they need to bring in sellers. Well, what's underneath right here? What are these? What liquidity is sitting here?
Orders
Yes,
to buy, to close out positions.
Well, to close out positions, right? Because here they went long down here. So they have their stop sitting right here. And they also went long right here. And that means there are stops, orders, sell stop orders. So you can see that they wanted to push it. If they're going to push it up, they're first going to push it down. And they're going to come where the stops are sitting. And so these are stop orders for sells. We were like, well, Pedro, why do I need a sell order? Oh, that sell order, what does the institution do? Take the other side into buys. So they cause the immediate sell-off where they bring in all the sellers. Now, I always talk about as we're coming down into an area of liquidity.
Just so you know, everyone, he's got the Ethereum chart up here.
Yeah, I'm using the Ethereum chart, but this is just an example of what Bitcoin is doing. Now, as we see it sell off into the smaller time frames, what do we want to be seeing as we're coming down into liquidity areas?
What do we want to be seeing if we want it to go back up? If we want it to go back up, we want to see demand wicks and volume.
Exactly. And so look right here. Demand wicks. Demand wicks, demand wicks. And pretty good size demand wicks. And are we seeing much seller wicks? A couple seller wicks right here.
It's big seller candles.
But big seller candles, but not seller wicks. 1, 2, 3. So you can see here, and these are 5-minute candles. Buyer wick. Buyer wick. And so what they're doing for the week is they got to first drop it, and then most likely they're going to take it back up. And so that's what we're seeing. Most likely. Again,
Pedro,
this is all probability.
Sorry, but on that chart where you show the rise up a few days ago, the drop, like maybe go back to the 2 hour or 1 hour. Yeah, that. What time frame? What time exactly was that big run up there? That big.
This is the
Nope,
first
to your
one.
right a little bit more. Next one.
So
that one right there. What time was that?
this was 700 or 1700 West Coast time. So 18, 19, 20. So at 8 o'clock.
It was essentially the open in Asia.
Yep.
So on one day, an Asia Open, somebody buys a couple of $1 billion worth, and then today they sold it off, or yesterday, whatever, however you look at your chart.
Well, no, this is institution, because look, this here happened on Ethereum, but let's check out BTC, because remember, when the institutions buy, they buy in groups. So if we look, it's the same thing. Because like if it would be a different story if this just happened on Bitcoin or Ethereum. But this happened throughout the whole entire market. So that means that's institutional money because they buy in orders. That's algorithms buying. That's institutional buying. Follow me? Like it's different if it's just
I'm thinking it's one institution and one trading desk. That's what I was thinking.
No, it's multiple. They all trade the same way. Like they are ruthless with each other. Ruthless with each other. Why do you think they wouldn't be ruthless with us? And they don't like us. Like with each other, all their kids go to the same school. All their wives hang out and drink mimosas down in Greenwich, Connecticut, or New York down in Soto. What is it, Soto? I forget what they call that. Soho. It's all the same. So it's like it's the same thing. They all do the same thing, and they're mean to each other. It's ruthless.
And then they knife each other in the back at work.
Yeah. They all vacation the same area, the same places. crazy. This is Monday. Same thing, see? Push up to come down, to go back up. Remember, we talked about us BTC hitting the 200-day period moving or 100-day period moving average, and I wanted to see it come down. Remember we talked about that?
Yep.
We hit it. Now we're coming back down. I said most likely it'll come back down to this area or right here in the 50.
Well, I'd like to see it keep a higher low in that little pattern there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Maybe it'll consolidate for a little and allow that 50 period to come up.
Or your stop is right here, right? Would have been right here, right?
I closed my trade out, and I closed my trade out at victory.
Right. No, I understand you. But most people are not like you because they don't have a trader telling them take their profit.
Don't be stupid.
Like they're hoping.
Sell that goddamn shit. Take your money and run.
Well, that's not. I guess you just say, hey, you made a good trade. Now wait for it to come back down. There's always two trades.
Which I am doing.
There's the initial trade and the pullback. The initial trade and the pullback. The initial trade, the pullback. The initial push, and then the pullback. Boom, pull back again. Low, higher low. Low, higher low, higher low, push up, goes up, gets right above. He literally stops everybody out right here, comes back, pulls back, stops all these people out right there, stops all these people out right there. This is where the liquidity sits. There's a liquidity right here. All those shorts, you have the 100-day period moving average, right? And so you have certain areas that it's going to pull back to. I'm giving some big alpha today.
Buy low, sell high. Tune in at 11 for more.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. I'm showing you literally how to spot liquidity. Liquidity is literally down at the bottoms of the areas here. There's 3 primary moving averages you want to pay attention to. 4, 200 period moving average, 400-day period moving average, the 100-day period moving average, the 50-day period moving average on the daily chart. Those are going to be the areas in which they're going to try to go to. In addition to that, they're also going to go to areas where after a big, huge move, when price tries to retrace, but it can't continue higher or can't continue lower, and then it either sells off like this, or here, you can see there's liquidity right here, right? Because this was a previous demand area. Previous demand area, boom, came down. This is where the explosion happens, boom, comes back down. I tell you guys, you don't need to catch the bottom. Just wait for it to start to show strength with volume and then continue up. Right? And we go to the smaller time frames. And I say to you guys, hey, wait for it to show some strength. Get above the 8-period moving average. Find the local low. The sell-off happens right here. Came down into demand area. Wait for it to get up above the 8-period. We see it start to show strength. This one would have been paid for you because you would have to wait almost a day and a half. But boom, you get in right here, your stop goes right here, right? And you wait for it to go up to a 1-to-1 ratio. Boom, this would have been the 1-to-1 from here to here. Boom, boom, boom. Or today you might even get it. And that's it. There you go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Right, there's 1-to-1 right there. Not yet. 1-to-1 right here. Boom. You could have taken that and then waited. Obviously, you're fine with moving averages, but that's typically what it does. Cathy, better than gold. Cathy Wood says yes. What does that mean?
Cathy Wood from ARK Investments. The theme of the show today, Cathy, Bitcoin, not gold, she says. You can see it right there in the thumbnail for the show. Bitcoin, not gold. The ARK Investments put out their annual letter to their shareholders, investors, whatever. And Cathy just came right out and said, look, Bitcoin is only got 21 million of them. 2.1 quadrillion tradable units, include all the Satoshis. And so you can't inflate it. Meanwhile, gold can continually be mined, and you never know when someone might strike a mother lode and increase supply greatly. One of the points she made was that the Russian government could change, and the new government could tell the various mining companies of the world, hey, come on in and exploit our territory, and suddenly they're mining double the amount of gold, and the supply just goes crazy. Or even what you and I talk about all the time is that, you know, all Elon has to do is learn how to stage fuel in space, and once he learns how to do that, he'll be able to send rockets and go grab an asteroid that's been identified as essentially solid gold from a supernova and bring it back, and then suddenly he's got 3/4 of the gold supply in the world.
Literally.
And with Bitcoin, you can't do that. Obviously, you know, everyone in the Bitcoin system could vote for a fork that increased the supply, which would be, I mean, it would be like trying to get a constitutional amendment passed in the U.S.
I was gonna say,
firearms. It's just not going to happen.
I was gonna say, you to actually have that happen, you have a better chance of winning the lottery 20 times. like in a year.
Right. Well, that's about the same chances I have of mining a block with my tiny little USB powered desktop miner, of which I don't have plugged in. I might add. How am I going to win if I don't have it plugged in?
That's a good question. That is a darn hootin' good question.
Aha!
You're right there.
There it is. A nerd miner. What I didn't know is that the nerd this is the brand is One Shot, but it uses a GitHub for the nerd mining project. And it's a whole deal. It's a whole deal of people that just want lightweight miners essentially as lotto tickets. And as an educational piece. It's like it teaches you all about mining and stuff. You don't have to get a $30,000 mining rig and participate in a pool and do all this type of stuff. You don't have to get complicated. You just have to plug this thing in and configure it to your Wi-Fi, and it works. And then it teaches you the various different aspects of it. And then, of course, people get crazy with them. They're like, ooh, I have 1 in 1.1 quadrillion chance of mining a block with this. Remember, winning the Powerball, $1 billion Powerball lottery is 1 in 300 million. So another few thousand times. I could win that a few thousand times before I mine a block. Yet, the other day, a solo miner did win a block. So let's just plug this in here.
Really?
Yeah, of course, they might not have had a 1 in a quadrillion chance. They might have had a whole room full of ASICs.
Oh, I got you. I see.
Oh, I got to configure this to the Wi-Fi here in Ottawa, so that's not going to work now.
I think about that. If you spend, how much are they a piece? Like $50 a piece?
Yeah, like $49. No, the math, under no circumstances does the math work. I'm only getting a million hash.
I am on the air. Nope, I'm on the air.
Oh, Pedro's talking to someone here. I'll put you on mute for a second if you need to, Pedro.
All right, I'm gonna call you back later. I didn't.
Pedro says, "Let's go."
Alrighty. I didn't realize you could hear me. I thought it muted me whenever we did. You there?
Yep.
Sorry about that. I thought normally you can't talk on air. Like I thought it. Did you hear him?
I've only been hearing you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I only hear your microphone.
I gotcha. My bad.
Core Cryptology, new viewer on Kick. Thanks for watching Core Cryptology. While we broadcast on Kick, our main show is on Rumble. If you want to come join the conversation easily, come over to Rumble and search DYOR Live, or search DYOR Media. Anyway, next move will, I guess you're talking about Bitcoin. Pedro.
Yes.
Telling us where Bitcoin is going. The broader picture, we believe it's going down further. You know, eventually, just like clockwork. Coming down into that 74 range, somewhere down there, but could go up a little bit. There's actually, if you look at like the 4-hour chart and the 8-hour chart, there's some hidden bullish divergence there, showing a little room on the upside. Pedro was just talking about how they dropped it down all the way from 95 to 92 here in the Asia Open. And when they drop it down, what do they like to do after that? Move it up. They come down to grab the liquidity before they go back up. So in essence, without picking any levels or anything like that, we've got a little bit on the upside coming. And in Pedro, I can't remember what you were saying, but because they dropped it right at the beginning of this week, you're looking for the end of the week to be
an up.
Yep. An up.
Yes. Sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us, Core Cryptology.
Let's go. It's interesting. I realized that if we just interact with whatever we post, it actually draws more eyes to us. The algorithm goes, "Oh, people are interacting with this. You should send."
You're welcome, Core. Make sure you follow.
Yeah, man.
Do all that type of stuff.
How did he find us, by the way? Were we on the crypto area in Twitch?
No, this was Kick he's on.
Oh, Kick.
I started broadcasting to Kick again recently after a long period of only getting feet people, hula hoop girls, and bikini hot tub girls in Kick. They cleaned it up over there, as they say, a little bit, and they even got Donut Operator and a few other people to come over. They brought some decent viewers over. So giving it a chance again, and as a couple of times a week, we get some new viewers on Kick. So thanks, Core Cryptology, for following us over there.
But how did he find us, though? How'd you find us?
Good question. I'm guessing in the just in the general feed, showing who's live in the stocks, crypto, whatever the category is over there now.
It's actually really cool. Is that how you found us, bud?
He says randomly. Yep. Thank you very much.
Randomly.
Thank you, Kick algorithm, for putting it in front of your eyes.
Thank you. Well, let's go over here real quick. What I'm expecting with BTC this week. So one of the things that I always say, and it's very important, right, that if the market goes down first, I expect it to go up for the rest of the week, and so one of the things I want to see is that this weekly, we're talking week, right? So you can see here we have the weekly A sitting around that 90,000. So we do have some downwards pressure we can hit again. And so don't get too what's the word I want to say? Too push. Don't think it's going to keep going higher. But it may continue higher. But I do expect it to most likely come down to that 90,000 area here where the 8-period moving average is sitting, and then continue higher for the week. Today's Martin Luther King.
Right, it's
Always
low
makes things
liquidity
always-
day because it's Dr. Martin Luther the King Day.
The king.
You lying! You never met no Dr. Martin Luther the King? Yes, I did. Yes, I met him. He's right here in my barbershop. Ladies and gentlemen, the
Eddie
movie
Murphy.
Trading Places. No,
Oh,
Coming to America. Coming to America.
Coming to America. I was gonna say.
It's Arsenio. You
Eddie
lying!
Murphy. Yeah.
Ah, Conta. Ah.
That
His
was
best Eddie Murphy's best character is when he plays the old white guy in the barbershop. It's just such an epic character.
like
And,
the
when,
shit.
and in Coming to America 2, when he walks back in and all the guys are still sitting there in the barbershop, and Eddie Murphy's white guy character looks up to him and says, it's Conta. It's the funniest shit. I wish my grandfather were alive to watch that show. My dad's father, he loved that style of humor.
The best.
Oh,
That's awesome.
you lying. You never ever met no Dr. Martin Luther the King. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just doing lines from an Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah.
No
be
cancel
careful.
culturing me because of it. You lying.
Oh, they are definitely going to cancel us one day. If that ever comes back, we're probably one of the first shows they'll be like, all right, let's
He's
lambast
cultural
these guys."
appropriation. He's not even allowed to say the words Dr. Martin Luther the King. Can't even say them. You're white. It's cultural appropriation. Did you see some school in Cleveland? They banned the choir, which is mostly white, from singing black themed songs. Guy said it's
What?
cultural appropriation. They're like, no, we're singing very popular songs that were written and sung by black choirs and black people. And he's like, that's cultural appropriation. We can't. They're like, we can't sing songs written by people from other races? Apparently not anymore. Nope.
That is epic.
The parents
you-
immediately tried to fire this school superintendent, but I don't know if they're successful because there's a union.
That is epic.
I know.
That is like funny. Like,
That's like someone coming to me and saying, you can't drink Guinness beer. I'm like, but the Irish. They're like, no, you're born in the U.S. That's actually Irish. So, that's cultural appropriation. I'm like, but I like Guinness. Tastes good.
so my question is this.
Thick beer, but
That-
not too much alcohol content. It's perfect for me. I can drink 20 of them. Nope. Sorry. Only the Irish can drink their Irish beer. Core cryptology. This is generally where the show goes off the rails.
Yes.
As soon as Pedro and I start getting into politics, anti-DEI, anti-woke, all that shit, all of a sudden the show is.
Yeah, people start to leave us real quick. But we do talk a lot about, we kind of go back and forth. We go into crypto and then we talk about crazy and we go back into crypto and charts. And so if you hang out with us, man, you'll have fun. I promise you. And I would encourage you to take part in our antics, please. As you can tell, me and Tom are not wokeism guys.
No.
We make mock it quite a bit. I jest in it saying, Tom, what do you mean? Was the actually I am curious though. Was the superintendent white, black? What was he? I'm curious.
White? No,
Like,
he's
was he
white.
Mexican.
Yeah, he's white.
He was
Nope.
white.
He's just one of those white guys that are just pissed off all the time because life isn't going their way. So, he's probably out punching ICE officers in the face one week and then, and then getting shot in the face with a pepper spray or something like that, and then complaining. Or remember the ethics professor? At,
Dude. That.
What was it? The University of Indiana? No, I can't remember what it was. It's
I forget. I don't think
professor
it
of
was
ethics and
Indiana.
morality, and then they catch him.
Yeah.
He's out there and he hits someone over the head with a heavy chain, could kill them, and they caught him and they sent him to the joint. He's like, I'm a professor of ethics, and you're like, what? And he's out there hitting people
Listen.
on the head with a heavy chain.
Ethics are only for those who don't have or who have morals. Those who don't have morals, like ICE officers who have family and kids and people who are trying to, whether you like it or not, protect the country. And people are like, how dare you? Just that term alone, dude, I could literally get beat up. You know what I found out
What's that, Pedro?
over the weekend? That ICE came to Connecticut and came in, pulled some people, and that was it. Like
Gotta cut your own grass.
Yeah, what was funny is that, like, Connecticut's very liberal. It's one of the most liberal cities or states out there.
Welcome,
It's also
Cybermoon22. She says, "Hi, Pedro."
Oh, what up, sis? How you doing? Where's she at? Is she in YouTube or is she
on Rumble.
Rumble. Oh, what's
Thanks
up?
for
How you
joining
doing,
us,
sis?
Cybermoon20.
Oh, I missed Friday. I wanted to do Friday. Shoot, I totally forgot. I actually was doing a bunch of stuff on Friday. They have a Cybermoon has a whole entire community, and so they're actually pretty cool. Him, Michael on the Breakfast Club, and I believe Cyber is on it too at times. She and her husband lead a like a whole entire organization. It's totally, they have like literally. Oh, which reminds me. Hey, I'm gonna drop this in that group. But they do literally. Why am I forgetting what it's called? They do
spaces.
Thank
Here,
you.
I've got
Spaces.
it up on the screen. Cybermoon Spaces. God first, wife, mother, blessed. Trencher. I was going to read that as teacher, but a Trencher. Daily Spaces.
Nah, she's legit.
Spaces _ Media LLC. Cyberspaces OG. Chadette Coin.
She's like legit. She's like legit a DJ. Like she's legit.
Anyway, welcome Cybermoon to the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pedro's been following this group and you guys for a while now. So
yeah, they're pretty cool.
For the viewers of DYOR Media, we're broadcasting on Rumble today, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, X, and LinkedIn. So for all of you viewers out there, there's a couple on each platform. Make sure you check out Cybermoon Spaces on X.
Yeah, she's legit. She's cool. She's good people.
I'll drop it in the comment section here.
Oh, there it is. Spaces. It's called Spaces and Places. Here we go.
Always good to get a new chatter here.
Yeah, she's pretty epic. She's cool too. She's good peoples. Good peoples. The whole entire crew is just good peoples. Oh, boom, boom, boom. But yeah, let's go over here real quick. So like we've talked about for BTC, we came up last week and we hit that 96,000, which is the daily. Daily. Why is that so far from me right now? Daily 100-day period moving average. And when we hit that 100-day period moving average, we saw the sell-off happen. And now we're waiting for a tap of the taparoo. Don't you want to go to your home? Sorry. Oh, gotta love Adam Sandler. You know what's cool about Adam Sandler? Again, talking about politics. He was so cool with Snyder, bro. Where Snyder was like, "Nah, I'm a Republican," and how Adam Sandler and how the whole entire movie industry was like, "Get rid of him," lambasting him, and Adam Sandler's like, "Nah, bro, he's entitled to his own politics. He will always have a space in my movies," and I had to sit there respect that, going like, "That is so cool." Anyways, quoting Adam Sandler,
because why would you keep the great Rob Schneider out of your movies just because of his political views? He steals every scene. You can do it.
Literally.
He says that. Literally, it's the only line he says. And 30 years later, people are still running around going, "You can do it.
Do it." Dude, straight up. Or when he goes, what was it? When he was in 50 First Dates with Lucy, and he was like sitting there, like he's the guy who, next to Adam Sandler, there was no other character that just stole the movie. Like his memory, and he was talking about his kids. He's like, "Oh, I got a puncture wound," and he's like, "You probably should kind of clean that up." And that whole entire thing was fake. Like they made like half of his lines is him just being so funny. Like that's how good he is. Like he's that epic of a guy. Like that's how good he is. Like real. Like no joke.
That whole the whole character of Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Deuce Bigelow, bro. Deuce Bigelow, dude.
And how about you? What do you do, man whore?
Man whore. It's
man
so
whore.
like. Dude, I still remember this.
It doesn't get any better than it, man whore.
Yeah, man whore.
And then the one guy that's actually the gigolo is like Fabio. He's got the hair,
Yeah.
he's got the body, the whole thing. And then there's Schneider, like, man whore.
Yep. Good dude, good guy. Anyways, I respect him. Stood his ground, and he's he's coming back, so respect to him. But the reason why we brought that up is this 8-period moving average here. This is that ADD kicking in. That's where I'm expecting to see the price go. And so that's coming back down to that 90,000 area. We tried to tap the lower liquidity here, sitting at that 89,000. I don't think we're going to get down there. This will act as the higher low. So higher low, like low. Oop, as I burp in the ear. Sorry, my peoples. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and this should act as a higher low here. Hence hitting that 90,500 area, and then boom, bouncing up and seeing this get back up to potentially the higher highs of that 100,000, and then pulling back. So that's my game plan for the week. That's what I think we're gonna do. We'll come tap, tap, tap-a-roo, and then come on up here, hit the 100,000. In addition to that, that's going to be the weekly 50 sitting right here, as well as the daily 400. So you can see how it all. Remember, I always talk about. They're like, "How do you trade?" I go, "Line up lines, line up lines." All I'm doing is lining up lines, and so that if you look on your weekly sitting around that 100,000 for the 50. And then we have the zone right here. In addition to that, we also have the 50. So there's a lot of stuff sitting right here when it comes to liquidity. I'm kind of expecting us to kind of tap that and then pull back. And then we'll see from there. But that's what my plan is for the week for BTC. Did you hear that? BTC. BTC. What do you claiming, eh? BTC, eh? BTC, puro BTC. Sorry. All right. That's enough.
Burritos, tamales, and chimichangas, man.
And BTC.
I got lots of
ETA,
BTC, man. I got my burritos, I got my tamales, and I got my churros.
That was my churro. Bro, that is so good. Burritos. Burritos, tamales, and Cheetos.
Cybermoon says, thank you for the shout out. Truly admire Pedro's knowledge. Cybermoon, you are correct. I've had this man in my ear for 3 years now. Three and a half years. I don't know however long it's been. It's been a long time. And the knowledge that continually comes out of it is amazing. And it took me 2 years to go, hey, I should actually listen to this and start trading. And so I'm in the Pedro school of trading, finally, after years of just listening to a ramble on. I was like, hey, wait a minute, he's making money doing this. I might as well do that too.
You know, I thank Jesus. It's not even me, man.
Steve Jomack. Painite X. I don't know what Painite X means. Steve Jomack, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining.
Is it
also on Rumble?
Painite X. Painite X. Joe Mac. I like Joe Mac. Joe Mac just sounds cool. What up, Joe Mac? What's your name? Joe Mac. That'd be a dope name.
My uncle's Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac. Dude, that's another comic, bro. That is like bro. God rest his soul. Pour one for the homie.
Oh,
dude,
man.
Bernie Mac. Oh.
We
were both this fat.
The stupid movies that he's been in. That have just been hilarious because of Bernie Mac. It just... Anyway, Joe Mac.
Joe Mac.
Thank
Bernie
you for
Mac's
reminding
cousin.
us of a 6'7" black comedian.
Who's epic. Dude, I would love it, dude. There's this... Who was I listening to? Was talking about... he was doing a scene with him. And he said, and this guy is a comic himself. What's the guy's name? It's another black dude. But it was with also Cedric. Cedric
the Entertainer.
Yeah. It was him. Bernie
Please say
Mac.
it's Kevin Hart.
I want to say it's Kevin Hart too. I just can't remember who it is. But he was saying in the scene.
Hi, I'm Kevin Hart.
Respect to you, Kevin Hart, right there. That was all Tom. That was Tom, man. That wasn't me. That was this guy down here. But no, but respect though. He I forget who were the scene ones. But basically he was saying that Bernie Mac, kind of like, you know how last week I was talking about not Robert De Niro. Why am I DiCaprio? The guy who only likes younger girls. Hey, yeah. There's a scene when he is with I have two stories going on here. This is the ADD really kicking in. But one of the scenes, like he was saying how what was his name? What's the other guy's name? Freaking hey, I am like nigger today. Special ed kicking in. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was talking the skill set of the actor. I forgot the guy's name.
Oh, it's brutal today, ladies.
Yeah, it's really brutal. You guys got to tough it with me. With DiCaprio and how he was so good, like how he literally like killed his hand in all this pain. He finished the scene and it was epic. It was absolutely epic. And hearing how Robert De Niro, or not Robert De Niro, but Jamie Foxx was like, wow, this really skills. And him and Jackson were just playing off each other. Great scene. So this actor, jumping back to my original thing with Bernie Mac, was this one guy was basically saying that Bernie Mac is so funny, like in real life, he has these big eyes and he's just like, he's got these really white teeth. And so he's just like, he's sitting there and he's doing the scene. He's so expressive. And it's so funny that the actor who's a comedian is sitting there just in awe, trying his best not to break character with another guy who's with Cedric the Entertainer. And both of them are like fighting, like from tears from laughing because it was that good. They didn't want to ruin the scene. And just like he was so funny, and he would be like, he's such a nice guy, but his body's he's like 6'7", like you said, and he's just like so huge. Like you're like, oh my goodness, I hope this guy's not. You know, it's like real. So I don't know. I think it was dope. Did he say? Joe Mac.
I have no idea what Steve Joe Mac is saying.
I'm gonna just Joe Mac's your name, baby. That's how it rolls now.
He's got Paynite X about and.
I think it's what the F are these guys talking about? Are they going to be talking about crypto? Yes, we do. I promise you. We are. Speaking of crypto, do we have any cool news that happened this week or weekend?
Well, you know, the answer is yes to that question. What I started out with earlier in the day was Cathy Wood of ARK Investments in her annual letter to her investors just came right out and said, look, we're going to spend more time worrying about Bitcoin than gold because over the long term, Bitcoin is a better reserve asset than gold is because it's limited. You know, gold is limited by what they can physically mine. Like I said earlier in the show, you never know how mining can change, though. I mean, right now the mining is limited based on world governments. China has their gold mines. Indonesia has theirs. Russia has theirs. The U.S. has ours, but not many. Canada has theirs, but not many because of environmental regulations. Ghana, you can go pay someone $50 and start a gold mine tomorrow, but they're not as productive as other ones. But seriously, remember we had that guy on the show that told us about that.
I know.
And or like I said, Elon can just launch go capture an asteroid that's close by that the spectrography shows that it's mostly gold and rare earth metals, and he can crash the price. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Now, other bad things can happen to Bitcoin. You don't know what you don't know about it. But it's big news when one of the big forces in the industry says, you know what, we're going to focus on Bitcoin rather than gold. So I found that very, very interesting. Also, Hyperliquid still killing it, Pedro.
Yeah, they are.
Still killing it with the volume is still over there. Pedro, Hyperliquid is, you know, they've got a good product. Other products like Astrodex has come out and things like that. But as we know in the trading markets, the people that win may not have the best product, but they have the most money, most liquidity. Most people have put their liquidity there, and because money follows money to these things. And usually over time, the markets with that have the best returns or the best order books and that type of stuff, the money flows there, even if their product isn't the best. But then someone tweaks theirs and money moves around a little bit. But right now, Hyperliquid's been killing it because they got all the money. I mean, literally, we've seen people move $1 billion at a time into Hyperliquid. And so they're still killing it. We talked about them for a lot earlier in the, not in the year, but kind of in the summer of last year when Astrodex tried to unseat them. And Astrodex did briefly, but it turns out there's a lot of wash trading going on there, and all the groups that followed the trading figured it out and went back and redid their calculations for total volume and market share. And Hyperliquid was, after they fixed it, was still killing them. And so they're still doing that. And so that's good. It's good news that a very large decentralized futures perpetuals market is surviving, which is good. It's good for everyone.
You know what's interesting is that we always talk about how competition is so important, how it breeds innovation, and it causes the next person to really develop their stuff and create something more original and basically better, right?
Right.
And so watching what we saw with Aster coming out and really being pushed by CZ, that really kind of put the fire underneath Hyperliquid's complete system that they thought they'd had the corner on the market. So it's going to be really interesting to see also as they create dark pools, as they start to create shadow banking systems in a sense, right? Because the way their system works, it's going to be really interesting to see how they also show or not show market purchasing or selling that comes in, because now that the institutions come in, they want to hide their order. They want to sit there and they want to play on both ends. They want to be able to bring in you're going to have to receive the money from institutions and cause people to really, in a sense, you might have to abandon part of your system, but then also allow, instead of showing where your orders are sitting for all the novices, like I always point out, like, here's where the novices are sitting, right? Like I don't got any special skill set. Just know right here, there's a ton on like Hyperliquid, 22.95. There are a ton of stops there, right? I can see with my own eyes, literally right here, right? Big explosion. I always say pull back to an area. There's stops sitting right here. Well, guess what? Boom. You can see they stopped everybody else out and then they pushed it up, right? It went from $20 to $26, $28, and now coming back. Going to continue down. And they played, this was a weekly trade, right? They came in, boom. First week, second week, they came in, hit that 8-period moving average on it. You can see how the 8-period moving average on the Hyperliquid here is what it's playing off of, and they know it. So they know they're going to hit this area of liquidity. This is a weekly liquidity area here. We're on the weekly chart, right? You can see right here, weekly chart. So where would there be an area of stops? Well, let's find the wick at the bottom of a weekly chart. We'll look right here. Say no more. Boom. Taparoo. Come up. We can see where the trend is already bouncing off because it's already bounced off up here. You can see here the 8-period is literally going down. You have the crossover. Everybody knows about the golden cross, 8 and 20 cross, right? Golden cross, 8 and 20 up, death cross, 8 and 20, or the 8 and 20 cross it going down, right? This is the golden cross. This is the death cross. Okay. And so when you see that, it's going to most likely start to trend off of the 8-period moving average as we play here. And so in that same sense, we can sit there and just follow it down. And until it closes above that 8-period moving average with volume, it's most likely not going to continue up until it does. So then you can play off of that. Well, if you want to go long, say, you know what, where here's liquidity. And I was talking earlier about how if a market, there's all these people sitting here that are long. And unfortunately, they don't want to get out of a position, right? And so what they'll do is they'll stay in that position and just get murdered, she wrote, right? And then after that, you'll see here, boom, they get their stop taken, and then they push it back up. Well, those stops, they were long here. Those are seller stops. So when the institutions take the other side, they are buying. They are dollar cost averaging. So if we see like here's a big explosion and you have a weekly, right? Well, where's there another one? Oh, wait, there's one right here. And then there's one right here. The liquidity areas. And so we know that when it comes down to these areas in hyperliquid, you're going to see these play. And Tom, what do I always say? It's going to go down there because the institutions need the orders, right? How many times a market has been all the way up at 59 or $100, $200? I'm like, yeah, it's coming down to 50, then 48. What do you mean? It would get cut in half. I know. Because they need the orders. Could locate 5-ton X. What does that mean? Joe Mack, what does that mean, my brother? Also, if you guys could do us a quick favor, we really would appreciate it. Do us a huge favor and hit the like button and also share button. That helps us out so much. And if you could interact with that share, because when you share it and you interact by typing something like, these guys smell like green eggs and ham, right? I don't even care. Say, I don't like that guy with the little Superman curl. He's a weirdo. Look at how big his nose is. Mock me, please.
Yeah, hey, that's still engagement. Engagement counts.
Yes.
Doesn't need to be positive engagement. It can be negative. These guys suck, man. You stink. And we're like, yes, engagement.
Yeah.
New chatters. Woo.
I love it. I love it. So hyperliquid. Also, let's talk about Aster. I still remember when Shogun eyes heart top.
What the hell happened to my?
I feel like you're just messing with this, Joe Mack. Are you sure you're not Steve Snyder, bro? It's heart top.
It's like random words. It's his seed phrase.
No, this is his seed phrase. Oh man, I love it. Oh, are these the? Hey, give me a second. Oh yeah, they are. I think he's dropping our. Is that what it is? I don't understand what that is.
One second, I'm trying to fix my stream deck.
All right, whatever, man. It's all good. Much love either way. Always. Much love to you all. Let's check out Astra here real quick. Boom. It is still selling off. We can see here it's still coming down. The lows here. Let's see the Astra chart right here. Bybit's even lower. Oh my goodness. Bybit got just demolished. Look at this, dog. It got in on right here for Aster. He's talking about painful, man. They're
Bybit.
bleeding.
What do you mean by Bybit? They're
Other traders that bought it on Bybit down right
oh,
here.
that bought in on Bybit. I got you.
Yeah. You can see that the trading started. You can see here that right here, dude. Look, it just came right down below, tapped all those people out. Now that we're getting down at these lows here, this is what I want to see, where like they get people to puke out the last little bit. This is when institutions, if after we see a giant, just good like puke, right? And then while it's puking, we just see nothing but demand wicks on the 5 minute, 5, 15, 30 minute, just nothing but literally just demand wicks, no supply wicks, just demand wicks, boom. Sell off, come up, sell off, come up, sell off, come up. That's when you know institutions are now in on this play. That's how you know. That's how I knew when Shiba Inu was going to explode. I always tell that story. What got me into it was a slow day, and I was trading, and I remember it was a slow day in the market. I was just like getting bored, and me bored, right? Never. And so, bro, I'm not joking when I say this. It was a trip. I sat there, and then this thing popped up on my phone. Shiba Inu had a huge sell-off, and it was like 40%, like 30%. And I was like, holy crap. And so as I was looking, so I went to investing.com at the time. That's all I knew where to find coins. I went to Shiba Inu, and I noticed it was setting up just like institution, the way like I was just explaining it was sell off, boom, buying back, sell off, buying back, sell off, come buying back, no supply wicks. And I'm like, okay, if this at the end of this hour stays, because they hit their low, hit below where they had all these stops, and I said this is the low over here, and it's just tapping all these stops, bam, boom. And I said if this thing closes above the low right there, then that's institutional move. They're just stealing everybody's stop. And then so I saw that, and sure enough, it closed right there. And I said, so I bought a big old chunk at the very bottom there. And then I remember just then being like, all right, well, over the next few weeks, because it was, small cap, like 40 billion, or what was it? Like $1 billion or something like that at the time, 20 billion or something like that. Or it was like 10, or it was like 3 billion, 2 or 3 billion at the time. And then I said, well, if this is, and at the time I was thinking more like stock instead of crypto, because I was just getting used to it. And it literally, I said, give it like 2 or 3 weeks. And if it comes back down and taps that again, the institutions are buying more. And then I want to see the same type of structure. Sure enough, same thing. And I said, okay. So I bought a little bit more to sit there and say, all right, cool. Dude, that's when it did the epic like juggernaut run of like when it went almost to the all-time high, and everybody was like, oh my goodness type of thing, right? It was the same thing. And I sat there and I was like, my goodness, this is, and that whole entire movement when Shiba Inu just skyrocketed was so impressive that it just gets you to the point where it's like, I'm almost fainting. That's like when we start to see some major moves, because here's the thing, I think institutions know that us, if we all pick one, just one, we all say, we're gonna go and we're gonna focus on Shiba Inu, we're gonna focus on XYZ. That's gonna be huge. Speaking of Shiba Inu, Joe Rogan, Taylor Swift, and Mr.
Speaking
Beast.
of completely blowing through the timer on the screen.
Oh, you're right. I should probably pay attention to that. My bad. Go ahead, dog.
Well, notice you have your phone. After 4 years of doing this, you finally put your phone in the wrong position. You probably, the text of the timer is probably too small now.
Okay, let me turn it. My bad. You are right.
Third grade Pedro there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
So it's the bottom of the hour here. It's 1:30 Eastern time here in the great Eastern time zone of the world here, and it's time for us to do what I like to do. Now stick around, don't go anywhere. I like doing this. This is fun. I get to read these ads for Rumble, and we get to talk about our our sponsors and all this type of stuff. But really, all I want to do is talk about 1775 coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, have you still not tried 1775 coffee? Well, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit is out there. They only made 1,000 of these units, maybe a little extra, but you can order them right here through Pedro and I. What do you get when you order the 1775 starter kit? you're getting 3 different types of coffee. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard. You're getting the smooth medium roast. You're getting the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. No. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting my favorite thing, getting a gold spoon clip. Why? Because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Nope. No plastic nanoparticles in my coffee. No. You're getting a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. Getting a black 1775 tumbler. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this sounds like it's a lot, but it's $175 worth of coffee and gear, yours for 99 bucks. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up right here on DYOR, wondering, is it actually worth it? Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine. It stands for something, just like Pedro and I do here on DYOR Media. That's right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code over here on the screen. If you're watching on your big screen TV, point your cell phone up to that, click it, put your eyeballs on our sponsors. We'd really appreciate it. It helps Pedro and I out a lot if you just visit them. Give our sponsors the opportunity to sell you their product. You don't have to buy it, but just give them the opportunity. If you're watching on your cell phone or your tablet, in the chat, there's a section that says learn more. If you're watching on the replay, thank you very much. There's a link in the description. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to 1775coffee.com for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. See, that's why I like doing that. I like doing it. Getting a little active. I get feeling like a 1950s variety star. You know, the Jack Benny show or Ed Sullivan.
Jack Benny, yeah.
You just go right from regular conversation into, have you thought about this laundry detergent, Pedro? You know?
Yes, I have. And I've been thinking about even using it more. I like the itchy pack. I really like the extra chemicals that they throw in just so that they can get rid of it and sell it to somebody else.
I heard that just downriver from the factory that makes my laundry detergent, there's a 95% cancer rate. You just got to really love this new products here that made in the 1950s.
Love it. Love it.
Anyway, Pedro, before we went off to break, you were talking about news. One of the things, the wizards in the EU, where the famous U.S. government, the head of the House Banking and Financial Services Committee, Patrick McHenry, said, Europe is the place where innovation goes to die. And they're proving it once again, ladies and gentlemen. They're about to outlaw and restrict some of the most prized features in crypto. You know what the EU is saying that you're not going to be allowed to do because it's too risky?
Buy crypto?
Is pay someone directly. You cannot use a self-hosted wallet to pay someone directly. You have to go through a third party that's licensed to make that payment. It's the same as saying, hey, I've got $10 and you want to sell me a $10 trinket. I can't give you that $10. I have to go to the bank, give the bank the money, and then they take a little vig, and then they send you $9.90. And I can't give it to you directly. Nope. The EU is actually saying anything, if you have a self-hosted wallet, it's not allowed to do anything at all. They're actually proposing this. And it's one of those things that's likely to pass. It's like, the self-hosting wallet is just that. Its own definition, they said, is just for self-hosting. They said it's not a self-payment wallet. No, it's not a self-payment. It's a self-hosting. You just got to hold it there, and you can only move things in and out of licensed things. They want to be able to track everything. And they also said, guess what? Privacy coins. No, can't have privacy coins. Might have anti-money laundering problems. Might have people using it for nefarious purposes. And I agree. In Korea right now, I have another story here that they busted. I don't know, South Korea busts $100 million in underground remittance using WeChat crypto. People are sending money through crypto, and it's essentially the old Hawala system, in which you deposit, $10,000 in a crypto account over here, and then in China you get $10,000 cash, and you're, however you want. It's going on all over the world, and we get that $100 million. So fucking what? $100 million? There's trillions. There's hundreds of trillions of dollars that move around every day. And they're like, oh my God, $100 million. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Literally, companies are pitching the EU Commission that they can get every cent, because in euros, they're cents, tracked, so that not a single cent is untracked, because there might be money laundering. Somebody might send 40 cents and not be allowed to. It's unbelievable the amount of restrictions that they'll put on their economy just to get the last few surveillance rules into place there, so they can do. I don't know why cash is even allowed in Europe anymore. I mean, it's big in Germany. You go to Germany, you want to buy a beer, and you give your debit card for one beer. They look at you and they're like, no, we're not paying fees on that. You pay cash. I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, that's it, we're done with cash. Everything has to be tracked. You said you don't want a CBDC. Well, you got a digital euro instead. It's not a CBDC, but we're not allowing you to pay someone directly, especially now with the privacy coin. They just sending, let's say, oh, I want to pay for something in Monero to a vendor who takes Monero. Nope, no, absolutely not, because the government can't track that. You know, that $7 you send them for your drone part could be drug money. $7 could be drug money. It's getting a little ridiculous, Pedro. It's getting a little ridiculous. And the EU only has themselves to blame. Where is that article? Oh God, Vitalik, strange looking dude. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting news source. If the EU would spend as much time as they do trying to restrict things on innovation. I mean, arguably Europe has, with multiple different cultures, that's a benefit towards innovation, because you get different ways of looking at the same issue. Because, as everybody has seen, people raised differently think logically through problems a little differently. And so they have like 29 different cultures over there. Someone's going to innovate, and we do when you let, like when you let the Ukrainians just do what they want with drones. They innovate, like boom, innovation just explodes. You're like, whoa, never even saw that coming.
Well, especially when you're talking about Russians just straight up just walking away from the war, going, "We're done."
Right,
we're done.
And if they were to let the Europeans innovate in crypto, just say, okay, whatever. We'll just. I might add that they're talking about all this dirty money flowing around. They still found them. Law enforcement still did their job and found it, and without having to crack wallets and surveil everything, because they're like, this stuff wasn't surveilled. We found it the old-fashioned way, using good police work. If the EU would let their economy do that, they would kick ass. I mean, there's plenty of massive innovation groups in Europe. They're just held down. I mean, they're just held down by bureaucracy, by rules, and so they leave. They go to Dubai, they come to the US. They
keep coming to the US. All you brilliant crypto people.
Yeah,
keep coming.
In fact,
to the
Christine
US.
Lagarde, the lady behind me here that you can't really see, Christine Lagarde. Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is Christine Lagarde. It's the other lady, Ursula von der Leyen, European Commission, with the European Commission, not the European Parliament. Make all the rules you want. Just make it draconian. Make it so miserable over there. It's like the fucking Dark Ages again. And we will gladly take all of your money.
Gladly take all your
dollar.
Well, we just want your brilliant people.
Right.
We don't even
Which
need your
means
money.
We'll take your money.
Yes. Just like how China sent their people all the way to us to get their people educated, and then took them back, and they got them educated by the most smartest people in the world. Yeah. Well, we want your smart people. We do. Absolutely. There was a couple of people that I had met. One guy in particular runs a large a news site in crypto, and we were talking, and he's just like, dude, I can't handle it where he's living, and I'm not gonna blow his name up, but the organization he started and runs, He lives in London. He lived in London. And I said, and he goes, where do you think I should move to? I said, honestly, if you really want real freedom, never have to worry about craziness, go to Dallas, Texas. You really like go to Dallas, Texas. If you can handle the heat, it's a great place for business. Great place for business. Or Florida. Go somewhere in Florida, Miami, you know. I think he ended up picking Miami. Just because of everything, and you know, he's doing good for himself from a financial standpoint. But I remember telling him, because I mean, and dude, they lost a brilliant marketer. I mean, he built this thing and got it going, and I remember just sitting there just being like, yeah, man, that sucks. And what blew him away, I think, was some of the stuff that happened with the immigration policies, and then he couldn't outright speak, and they were talking about banning his organization, and he's just like, this is crazy. Like, nearly 5 years, and it was just simply him posting what's actually happening in his country, and he's just like, I gotta leave. I literally have to leave, because this is at a point where it's like I can't even say the truth, what is actually happening here, which was kind of sad. And we'll take your best. We will take your best. And when World War III breaks out again, we'll have the best. We'll have the smartest.
Send us your best and brightest, says it right on Ellis Island. All you gotta do is fuck up your own country, and they did that either war, and now they're doing it by draconian regulations, and people will leave. It's not like the old days where you had to get a steamship and move your whole family across the planet and start over. You can just do clickety click and done, and like, oh, change my residence, boom. You know, because it's different in Europe. In the U.S., you can't just leave the U.S. It's different. But in Europe, like in a lot of countries, you just like all my German friends, they just unregister from Germany. Okay, I'm unregistering that I live there, and now I live in Dubai, and so they don't pay any taxes or anything. It's essentially they're a German citizen, but the German government essentially forgets about them while they're gone, and people can just leave. Bye. Boop. See ya.
Really?
Click, clickety click.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Really cool. Yeah, America, they're gonna tax you. They're gonna be like, where'd you move to? Like, where'd you move to? Oh, taxes? Oh, wait. I mean, Dubai? Oh, I mean, taxes? Yeah. Don't worry. You won't get taxed by them. But
we still gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, you became a billionaire? Oh, great. Where did you start that business? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, we get 50% of that. But I'm not living there no more. Yeah, but you do business with us, though. Do you want to keep going? I can keep going. America be like, like 100%. Oh, how big is that term?
Round 22.
like, where do you want to go? So it's kind of sad, but in the same sense, also here, you have the ability to tell Trump, you're an idiot. Biden, you're an idiot. I can sit there and make fun of Warren, and I don't really have to worry about going to prison. I can tell somebody that you're being stupid, and right now, and you know, and I don't, at least as of right now, and it's not looking like it's gonna get anything worse, right? I was even thinking about this. I go, underneath Trump, he's giving people the freedom. People are still idiots, and in America, we will still be idiots. And it's just part of our nature. It's okay. As I was watching some comic, and he was making fun of America, saying, listen, these guys literally just do stupid things for fun because they can. Like, and he showed this one thing, like, look, they cut a hole in a giant ice, like, bed here, and then they're just having to spin for no reason. Who does that? Americans do. Because they get bored, because they have so much freedom, they literally just can do that. Us, we'd get fined, and then they might haul us off to jail. And rightly so, because we might hurt ourselves. But no, America, you can hurt yourself for free and not go to jail for it. And
but Pedro, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were.
That was it in a nutshell. That was it. That was it. That was my.
But we have you know, America is not some super great place free of dichotomies like that. We have our own issues. Here's a good example. Right, just south of where I live in Chicago, is the Indiana-Illinois border. And there's a lot of places where it's just a country road. It's just a country road. And on one side of the border, if you have a firearm, it's like death. And like, oh my God, you're the worst person ever. Is it a black firearm too? Oh my God, you're so evil. You're an evil person. You're just out to kill people and do bad things to schools and all this type of stuff. And then on the other side of the road, it's Indiana. They're like, you only have one? Here, there's another one. Have another one. Why would you only have one? One is none. Two is one. Three is two. You got to have backups. You need extras. What if there's you and your dad are at your house and the three people come in and break in? You need to have two at least. Then go back to this side of the road. You're evil. You're so evil. It's awful.
You got a BB gun?
You
my
hold
goodness.
that black rifle thing. You're gonna have a felony on your record and potentially go to jail. And then on this side of the road. Man, what the? Are you kidding? You don't even need a license for that. Just do what you want to make one at home. Just make it at home. It's fine. Nobody cares. So we have those weird things too in jurisdictions like between the U.S. and the EU as far as crypto. The U.S. it's going to be like, come on, let's do whatever you want, creating sandboxes to create new products without fears of regulation or enforcement. All this type of great stuff. Lobbyists are trying to ruin it. They're trying to ruin it to get it so that the banks still control everything. They're doing a damn good job of it, but we'll see in the next couple of days how that works out. But still, it's going to be 10,000 times better than Europe. In fact, I just posted that link to the EU article in one of my groups that I'm in that are primarily Europeans, and I'm looking forward to their retorts. Because I'm sure it'll be like, oh, Orange Man bad. And I'll be like, this has nothing to do with Orange Man. I said, why are you creating so many regulations? And I'm sure it'll just be, Orange Man bad. Bad. Oh, I forgot almost the worst, the best news, the worst news.
Tell me.
The World Economic Forum is starting. It's going on right now.
Yep.
And we've seen that organization over the past 30 years go from let's try and do better in the world to just off the edge leftist weird shit. To the point where the president of Argentina had to address them and go, look, you guys are going all wrong. Socialism creates poverty. Our country's a great example of that. Everything you're talking about here is 100% wrong, so stop. This year, do you know who they decided to make one of their keynote speakers for one of the evenings?
Putin?
Justin Trudeau.
Oh.
Justin Trudeau, the
Katy Perry's boyfriend.
Oh. Not anymore. They broke up. She had enough of that. Even she was
crying.
Like, all right, I can't deal with this crazy shit. But Justin Trudeau, the failed prime minister from Canada, who arguably left office like Biden did in just a cloud of scandal, and basically the whole country hated him. He had like a 5% approval rate. And just like with Biden, they brought in the next guy. People didn't even care who it was. It was like new guy, and all of a sudden he even wins the election. Didn't even. He was like if Kamala Harris had won. She was only at 100 days in the campaign. This guy only had like 40 days, and he beat the incumbent or the Conservative Party guy. But Trudeau was so disgraced. His policies were so ridiculous. Everything was more woke. Everything was shut down the oil industry. Everything was like his environment ministry even came out and said, we're not building any more roads. Just no more roads. No more roads. Even if population increases, more roads? Nope, no more roads. Not spending any more. We'll maintain the ones we have, but we're not building new ones. But we're literally the country's importing 1 million immigrants a year. They're all buying cars, and they're saying, oh, we're not going to build any new roads. Did he say, oh, we're going to build transit-oriented housing? No, he didn't say that. He said, no roads. So Trudeau, no roads, no oil and gas, no new mineral mining, because that's anti-green too. And so guess what happens to the economy, the GDP of Canada as compared to the United States?
It goes up a lot.
No,
so good.
The U.S.'s GDP went up. Canada's went down.
Sorry.
Yeah. Right, it definitely did not go up. And so they said that the World Economic Forum is they're so desperate for buffoonery that they
buffoonery. That's funny.
They take the world's largest buffoon leader and make him the keynote speaker. It's just, it's so mind-boggling. I know we kind of went off on a tangent there, everybody, but
That's right.
and for those of you that are new, that are still watching, I split my time between the U.S. and Canada, so I'm acutely aware of politics on both sides of the border, and it's a disaster. One of the things that reminded me of this, Pedro, was that the super liberal social media platform Blue Sky, which wasn't created to be liberal, it's just called Blue, and so all of the people that just didn't like X said, I'm going to the blue one, blue. They have a new feature where you can go live as well on it. And you don't actually stream through it. They just says put a link to your Twitch channel and we'll show you as live and people can click through and watch it. We've actually had 2 people click through their Blue Sky post and go over to Twitch.
Really? Check that out.
And they probably left very quickly because almost everyone over there completely disagrees with you and I.
Look what my friend just sent me.
I think we're fortunate we can't see your screen.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I'm gonna. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. I'm gonna send it through X real quick for you. Striking. Where are you at? Striking balls. It's hilarious, dude. Speaking of it, countries that America wants to take, i.e., Greenland. There's been a lot of talks about what's actually happening.
Jesus. So Trump has jumped the shark on that one.
Dude, he's talking about
he needs to shut up. Sorry, Mr. Trump. You need to take a break.
President Trump.
Just go take a vacation and play golf for a month. We're gonna tax all of Europe unless you give us Greenland.
Dude, this is dude. I literally 10%. He's like, you're gonna give it to us. It's your dude. You talk about being draconian. Dude, it is at a point with that aspect where he is. It's too much. I think it's absolutely too much with what he's doing because it is pushing. Like the rest of the world's like, you're okay, enough, and he's like, no. I don't know if he's super trolling and seeing if they'll give it to us just because he's doing that. He's like, once they give it to us, he'll be like, I was joking, I wasn't gonna do nothing, right? Or is he? I mean, he's at a point where he's already invaded, like a country, and I guess I guess we didn't invade it, but I mean we kind of did. And then and listen, the president, the new president, or excuse me, the VP, she was VP, right? And the president that's there is, and it was funny because Trump, congratulated her, the one who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and she gave it to Trump.
Yep.
But she was just saying, like, just outright, like, look, like, you don't understand. Like, this man has made things so much better for us now that he removed, why am I calling him Monero? Madonna. What's his name?
Madonna?
No, Madonna. That's what I'm saying. My brain is like not working today, dude. Whatever, because I don't know why I'm like having like
Maduro.
Tourette's. Maduro. Holy crap. I'm like looking at Monero. One day, dude, I hope somebody takes that and makes fun of me. Like, he goes like, this guy, how is he? And then they make fun of me. Anyways.
That taking Greenland thing was funny, Pedro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trump's like...
It's so good. It's so good. Like, we've been sitting so back and forth. But the fact is that he's not letting it go. And if we take it, I don't think we're going to take it, but if we take it, that's a big deal. Like
it's a big stupid deal. That's what it is. Like there's no, I just don't, there must be some kind of news under it. Like the U.S. government secretly knows there's quadrillion barrels of oil under it or something like that, that eventually it's going to get out. So he's trying to hurry up and get this done. There's got to be, I mean, one of the things that's under Greenland, I don't know if you know this, but down in some deep ass ice tunnels is a nuclear reactor that's leaking its nuclear stuff that the U.S. put there in the 1960s. With the Greenlanders really thank us for that. They're like, oh, thanks, we really appreciate that. Because we didn't tell them we were putting a nuclear reactor and under the ice there, but we did. To power a secret nuclear base that everybody knew about, and they said, why are you dragging a nuclear reactor out into the middle of nowhere? Anyway, so it didn't work out so well, and now it's a toxic hazard. So I think we should leave that for the Europeans. Say, well, sorry, you gotta deal with it now. But everyone on Greenland has said, look, if you need more space, we got plenty of it. Just pay us. We'll gladly lease it to you. We're not restricting you from doing anything. Just do what you want. And just pay us. We'll build a road for you too. If you pay us, taxes on the land you use, we'll build your roads to your base. Well, the infrastructure, all the type of stuff that normal relationships have. And I just don't get it, because all it's doing is creating controversy. And Trump's got enough controversy. In the Greenland thing is one of those things that makes the kind of like normal Americans like me go, all right, he's finally lost it. And the midterms are coming up, and you don't want controversy when the midterms come up. You want all you need is economic news. You're just like, GDP's up, the stock market's up. They can talk about the debt all they want, but people don't care about that as long as the stock market's up. And
both. Because
at elections, 5% of the people that vote even know what the national debt is. Most people are like, yeah. I don't know, what are they? I don't know, whatever. But my 401k is higher than what it was last year, so Trump good.
It's scary. If we don't start, if we could do 6% they're saying 3 to 6% a year with the Trumponomics. And it's funny, I was reading through how Besant was talking about how most likely the Supreme Court is not going to vote down the tariffs, right? And it was all just, what's up?
I don't believe Scott Besant on that. I heard those Supreme Court justices ask questions. I'm like, that doesn't sound good at all.
Well, here's the thing. We're not going to be able to pay it back.
Right.
In essence, we just cleared almost what is it? Now it's almost like $700 billion. Just the first year, which is crazy. Which is 25%. No, excuse me. Yeah, 25% of the it's a little bit more than 25% of the fall short of the U.S. deficit, right, for the government, because we have we're over $200 trillion, or excuse me, we're over $2 trillion a year that we are running, and for a deficit, and so that literally cleared. And I sit there and I'm like, how can these judges really be okay with you get that we're helping pay for our debt, right? You get that. We just made up 25%. Who knows how much we can make? Really?
Right.
How far could we push that? And we're seeing China really starting to fall and things fall apart. Watch my internet starting to go out. Really, they're really falling apart. Tom, you nailed it perfectly when you literally said China with their other business that they're trying to continue with Africa can't keep buying the crap. I mean, they don't have the economy like we do. And so they're, no matter how cheap you try to make it, they, there's only so much crap that they want, right? Because there's a lot of areas there that just, they want to buy land, they want to buy fruit. You know what I'm saying? They life for them are much simpler. Whereas Americans, we like our gadgets.
Right.
And from an energy perspective, you can't even, like, not to say that there isn't electrical grid there that can't handle it, but partially it can't in essence, because it hasn't been built out yet. Just hasn't been built out yet. And plus the culture out there is much more, just outside culture. It's not a gaming. It's just not part of that mindset. And respect, I mean, I actually was a girl from Ghana that I was kind of talking to years ago. And we were talking back and forth. And I remember, like, she just was like, I said, what's it like in Ghana? She's like, it's very different than the United States. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, like, the majority of the time you guys spend inside. Like, you spend the majority of your day inside the house. We don't. Like, in Ghanaians, we are outside, we're doing stuff. There's a huge amount of community. Community's huge here, at least where she's from, the church. And I sat there and I was like, really? She's like, yeah, it's just different. Like, and I go, you think I'll be like a sore thumb? She goes, at first, but you'll still be, since we're together, people will accept you. Like, it's just how it is. You might want to be careful. Don't talk about money. Don't talk about anything like that. But I just thought it was interesting.
They also have 10 people in the same size as your one-bedroom apartment, so they're like, you got to spend time outside.
Yeah, she did. Her mom, her sisters, they all lived there. Her brother, they all worked. Like,
I was when I was over in Nairobi once, and I went with my buddy over to one of his employees' houses. This lady that worked as his assistant, and she invited us in when we were there, and we could barely move around. Like, oh, this is my brother, and this is my sister, and this is my other sister, my other brother, and this, and blah 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 blah, and we're like, and there's like mattresses on the floor and stuff like that, and just like a couch in the corner, and I'm like, they all live here, right? And he's like, yeah, they all live there. It's like, but that's how most of the world works. It's not. In the Western countries, we're spoiled by the size of the place that we live.
Yeah.
Even go to England and the hovels that most Brits live in are just, these tiny little row houses, and you're like, come on, man. And even when they build new ones, and they still build the crappy little row houses, I'm like, hey, you're building new, you can build it bigger now. And they're like, no, we're Brits, we have to suffer. And then they still put in the hot and cold things. They don't put in a mixer so you can have any temperature of water. They're like, dude, it's just a brand new house. Guy redid his whole apartment, guy I know over there. And he still put in the hot and the cold. So you either have 160 degree water, because they had blazing hot water, or freezing water. And you want to mix it, you kind of splash yourself from both sides real quick. Like, dude, $25 on HomeDepot.com and you can get a mixer. And it, just one. Oh, well, that's not real. That's not how we do it here. I was like, well, yeah, you can. You can also build a larger home. You don't need this tiny little thing with stairs like this. Like,
I thought that was like a movie thing. That's real. I've never been to London.
No,
or never been to England.
When I used to work for a company that we brought in a lot of people. We bought a lot of stuff. So all of our vendors would assign an American rep to us. And they'd move over to Cincinnati, and they'd get like, $4,000 in the 1990s to rent a house. And they'd rent like a 6,000 square foot suburban home that was massive and all this. And they said, we can't believe it. That, the house this thing, the same amount of English pounds, $4,000 at the time was 2,000 pounds. And so they're like, our 2,000-pound house is like a little kitchen with the laundry machine in the kitchen and a tiny little fridge. Here are your fridge. They had a Sub-Zero fridge with the two sides. They were both fridges.
Literally.
And then there's another giant freezer. And they're like, we can't believe it. And I'm like, okay, well, you just have to build it bigger. Yeah. And they're like, well, we don't have land in the UK. I went right to Google Maps. I'm like, you've got plenty of land. It's just that the other people, the old curmudgeons in England, are like, oh, who are those people, little whippersnappers think they are? We suffered during the war, and so all we gonna have is these little crappy places. I hope you English people are watching out there. Rumac is back. Rumac, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Nice.
It's been a while.
We got into silver. Where did you get into silver at, Rumac? Speaking of silver, we can go over some of the pricing.
Yeah, let's hit some precious metals.
Yeah. So talked about silver coming back down to the 8. It didn't even come back down. I mean, it literally kind of held solid. We were talking about the consolidation period of kind of something like this. And
hold on, I don't have your screen up here. Hold on. There we go.
Rumek, tell us where you got in at, because we've been talking about silver since it was down in the 24s. Almost 3 years.
He probably got in around I think he was starting talking to him about him during that pullback into the 60s.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, back in this level here. Yeah, so yeah, really nice, man. Nice. Now look, I want you to be mindful. It's a silver trust, actually. Plenty of physical silver already. Okay, perfect. Like I was saying, I do expect us to get to that 100, the 3-digit mark area here. We did watch gold pick up as well. Hit all new all-time highs here, and we've talked about that 5,000 area here for gold. But silver, like I keep saying, is I expect to see it climb up. Now, could it get to 400 this year? I really don't think we will. I mean, right now, anything is possible, but I think a potential 200 silver, we've got this right here. My goal this year, I think this year is 160 area is one of those things I think we could see for silver. But again, it all depends on what's going to happen. Artificially, it's being held by China and keeping people at a low rate. Right, or excuse me, keeping people at a low accumulation rate, right? Because China has now put kind of the kibosh on it. They're really the primary exporters for silver, the rest of the world. And in addition to that, we're watching them kind of say, nope, sorry, unless you want to, we are going to have to say okay for you to actually receive silver. Now, yes, this has a lot to do with AI and America, everything that's correlated there, especially tariffs with Trump and what he's doing there. Also, what happened with Venezuela and how China definitely needed Venezuela along with Russia. So there's a lot of issues there's a lot of issues there that's entailed into silver pricing or the pricing for silver. But more importantly, these prices, $100 silver would be awesome. I'm not going to shoot for the moon on it. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, it very much could. That's what I'm trying to say. It's because if silver puts a run for the 10-to-1 ratio for gold, right? I don't see gold selling off hard, right? Especially with the climate that we're seeing with the US dollar, with also the climate with gold or with the US debt and everything that's correlated there. Gold has become almost like that idea for institutional banks as well as for Federal Reserves, an area to safeguard with or against the dollar, right? And so people are looking at silver at one of those things that they're going through and they're going like, okay, gold is expensive right now. Where else can we go? And we know, like throughout history, it's been a 10-to-1 ratio for gold. So if, let's say gold is at gold is at $100, silver is at $10, and it can fluctuate between 10 to 50. because it's a 5 to 10 or 5 to 1, 10 to 1 ratio is typically what we've seen in history. This is just crazy that we've seen this period since the American dollar stepped in, being at a whack, right? And so we could see a run of gold or silver get to 150, 200. Again, that's a real thing. One, because like I said, the ratio itself. Also, the fact that China has stepped in and put a lot of parameters around it to suppress the demand, the actual real demand of silver in the rest of the world, which basically makes people want to buy the futures, the actual paper side, because they're not going to be able to get it. So they want some form of, to use a word, safety, but this really is. But this is obviously going to become a bubble. So if this thing starts to continue, I mean, I'm seeing like I think 160 by the end of the year is very doable. But I mean, I want you to also understand this year alone, right, or the previous year, right, early of 2025, gold was literally at $30. Right, let's not forget, gold was at $30, came back down to the $27 mark, and then literally went 5x in a year. Right? Like that's crazy. Or almost 5, you know, like it went up to 83, I believe. Yeah, it was like 83-ish. 82, 83. So I don't think it's wrong to sit there and say, you know, potentially 160 is a good area. Now I understand the market cap would be astronomical, but it's important to understand that we're in an inflationary environment currently right now. I believe we're coming into a deflationary experience here soon, and then again a rebalancing of deflation to inflation. But it's going to be, I think it's going to look something like this, right? Where we'll see it go up, boom, and then come down, right? But because of the inflationary environment that we're currently sitting in, with the US dollar losing its real value, with everything else kind of happening, no matter what, even when it pulls back, I think a $100 silver, even higher, is something we could see consolidate and stay at. So it's something to be paying attention to as we start to move forward here in the precious metal markets. 5,000, I do see it. That's the other thing, right? Like as gold starts to push, we're going to see an exponential push in, I won't say exponential, but a larger ratio of push when it comes to silver, because again, silver is cheaper, you know, overall. I mean, and it very much could really kind of get going. With that said, I think we could also see the same type of ratio kind of happen with the Bitcoin to Ethereum push. I like, that's why I've been buying and kind of playing with Ethereum, because Ethereum and the Bitcoin ratio is much like the gold to silver ratio. So me looking at it is one of those things that I'm going, okay, cool, we could see it play off of here. That's why every time we see a pullback, I'm always looking for the Ethereum or for Bitcoin. Once companies start to overproduce using AI, do you think that would cause deflation as others have? Yeah, that's exactly. But it's still going to be a big push. I very much think that, because what happens, that deflationary aspect has everything to do with, it's going to make goods and services cheaper. Just absolutely, you know, especially with robotics stepping in. We're already seeing like car companies and other people, just straight up manufacturing companies, straight up buy and are now employing robots in their manufacturing companies. Now, is it going to get rid of or get rid of jobs? I don't know. And the only reason why I say I don't know is because every time we've ever thought this, right, new jobs were created,
right?
And so it's like, I hate to say it's kind of wait and see, because the idea of creativity, I think people who understand AI and are messing with AI will do phenomenal. Like people like me, and or people like Tom, we're always using AI. We're using it, we're creating with it. We're going to be use. I mean, other companies will sit there and be like, all right, well, we'll pay you a lot of money to do this, because most people are not wanting to work through AI. They're just not. So this is where me and Tom, or I am sitting there going like, yeah, I mean, you really got to keep up. But with the advent of robots really starting to take over the workforce, yes, that's going to cause a deflationary aspect, which will drop the pricing. Now, will there be an artificial push to push up in between? I think so, right? We'll see a big push up and then a pullback. And so that's what I'm expecting. I think it will create a different set of problems for companies to hire people to solve. I'm hopeful anyways. Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see. But it ain't going away. Like, that's the key that I want to bring up. It's not going away. AI is not going away. Robotics are not going away. Like, we've already drank the Kool-Aid. Society is already pushing it to happen. Like, you can fight it all you want, but it's
going to happen. Remember, Pedro, when the Henry Ford started the Model A production line, or Model T, whatever the hell it was, and they're cranking out cars like crazy. People were like, what? I mean, he eviscerated the entire horse industry. If you recall, the whole world got by with literal horsepower. I have one horse, so I have one horsepower. Maybe I have two horses. Every family had a horse as transportation, as pull a carriage, to plow the fields, to do whatever. And Henry Ford said, we'll have no more of that. And people were like, oh my God, all these people are gonna lose their jobs. What's all these kids that scoop the poop out of the street, they're gonna be jobless. Now they're gonna run around, there's be street urchins and stuff like that. And turns out they needed someone to sweep the factory, right? It's gonna put all these people at like a good I'm in that's
well, what about electricity?
In the accounting industry, all these people that are in the bookkeeping layer of accounting, all getting riffed because the AI now, even the accounting system I use now has an AI, and it just figures everything out. You're like, nope, that's right. You just have to check it. You don't have to do anything. And so it's raising the skill level up. So now, of operating an accounting system, you don't need to be a bookkeeper. You essentially need to be an accountant or a chief financial officer. So people's skills will go up, and they will get other jobs doing things. Every massive innovation has created new skills and actually has increased employment. No innovation has decreased employment. Now, obviously, AI is something different. But imagine, spending generations. You're a 9th generation horseman, and someone says, oh, this noisy machine is going to replace all of you. And you're like, oh, no, it won't. And it did. It replaced all of them. So maybe AI is going to replace more than we could possibly imagine. Maybe when they really learn how to clone robots and turn them into with fine dexterity and thinking, and then they can do any physical labor job out there, mixing the concrete and building construction and stuff. We'll see a massive change. But it also changed the way families grow and stuff. Like right now in the Western world, people have under 2 kids on average.
Yep.
In the other parts of the world, they still have more because they're needed, because there's still child deaths, the high rate of child birth, whatever. Kids die at a very young age, so they have more. They still need more people, just hoping one of them turns out to be worth something and can support the old people when they get older. And you normally, in these larger families in India and stuff like that, 2 or 3 kids just die for whatever reason, either from sickness or just because they got hit by a train or held onto the 4,000 volt thing. Hey, look what I can do. And so they have more kids over there. But that, as you get more wealthy, sad, dude. As you get wealthy, you have fewer kids. Because that's just, I'm not going to go into the socioeconomic reasons for that, but it just happens. And it's going to happen as these other countries get more productive because of AI. They'll have fewer kids, so there'll be fewer people. They won't need to move the population around as much to be able to move robots around. Everything will be fine. All these people saying, "Oh, there's going to have to be governments are going to have to support everybody." Imagine how quickly humanity would come to a halt if everyone just said, "I want universal basic income," and the government's just going to pay me to do nothing. Imagine the incentive to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, the whole world would come to a screeching halt of malaise,
There would be a
patheticness,
lot of
and
babies, though.
loserness.
I think it would be another baby.
No, there wouldn't, because people would just be laying in their room as like fat fucks, and it just wouldn't happen because they're gonna have sex bots by then anyway. And once they have sex bots,
Did you see the thing I sent you?
Yeah, women are screwed. Sorry, women, you guys are fucked. I've been saying this for a long time. Once they have robots,
I couldn't believe when he said it.
Once they have robots that can mimic the women's things that they do to men, the men won't need women, and then your strength. I mean, arguably, women's strength over men is like, hey, we control access to this and to the fun stuff, so you got to do what we want. With that power gone, women are fucked. I mean, it's just.
I will always go for the
There's no good
old-fashioned.
men anymore, and then you're like, well, just act like that robot. You know, it's just she cooks me dinner and cleans the house, and you don't, so you're out.
I like to
And
hear.
then Pedro, he's like, oh, it's not going to be like that. Then he sees the article, and he's like, oh, it's going to be like that.
Oh, dude, it was. I sent Tom. One of the guys that I follow cracks me up. Was saying, listen, once they can figure out, it was Tom Bilu, and he sits there and he says, once they figure out a bot that can give a really good BJ. Yeah. That's it. And I thought that I was like, no way. Like because this is the reason why I say no. Because there's an here, where are you at? You don't need to, like, why do you keep doing that?
I'm eating some spaghetti.
Oh, you eating spaghetti. Got you. The idea behind this push of, what's the word I want to use? There's the reason, because there's oxytocin that is released. Part of the pleasure is literally the fact that you release oxytocin from her, and she's releasing oxytocin. So you both vibe on a subconscious level. That's part of the pleasure. And so there is this form that, like, you're not. There's a part of you that will not feel satiated. It will be like porn. It will be like porn. It will not be. It will, like, porn is.
Pedro, what's the most popular thing on the planet?
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying if you had a choice, between, like, a real flesh and blood woman, right? Woman.
That okay, I agree with you, but what are the flesh and blood women now are leaning towards being what?
Woke. I get it.
Crazy, pissed off bitches, and nobody wants them in their lives. That's why they're all 45 and single in Minnesota, going, "You ice agents are all terrible." It's because men don't want that. Men want, you know what? How about we watch a movie tonight, and or can you sit and watch the football game with me and, like, rub my back? I'll rub yours, and maybe we'll get a little hoochie coochie. Instead, they're like, "We want to cure the world's ills," and men don't want that. We're just like, no. That's not what we want. Out. And people can argue equality all they want. Fuck you.
I would disagree. Men want that. I would disagree with you. Men do want that. But the thing is they don't want to fight. Like this is one interesting. There's a study being done, and they keep now revising it and stuff like that. But what was interesting behind it was that they literally talk about how there is a balance between men and women. And this balance basically helps men see things, from a very logical standpoint, and they can pull emotion, they can detach and look at things from a very just pure, simplistic, like, okay, what are the benefits? What are the pros and cons here? Let's remove the facts. Like, for example, Trump was wanting to drop some bombs over on Iran. Iran. and here's the thing, he wanted to go and help liberate the people. His advisors came up to him and said, hey, don't do that. Look, it's not going to do much. A lot of stuff's going to happen.
Hold on, sorry, I screwed something up here.
Did it mess up the internet? Right. Did we drop?
No, I screwed up I just screwed up my head,
headset?
My headphones, that's all.
Okay, gotcha. So because of that, well, cooler heads prevailed. He didn't drop bombs. Long story short. He ends up, though, he's looking at, okay, what else could we do to really help out the insurgents, the people who don't agree with the Ayatollah? And there's this other side behind it that is, there's a real calculated way of doing things that they're now doing, right? They're setting certain things up, they're empowering, they're most likely going to start, giving guns to help out with the actual the war that's now going over there. They've killed over 16,000 people, or they say between 12 to 16,000 people over the last 2 days. It's absolutely crazy there. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is women, right, would sit there and go, we need to go and actually handle that and save those lives. Now, leader women, I'm nothing against leader women, but a lot of times we do see a lot of times we will see a more lean towards this take care of the humanity aspect behind things versus the logical idea, which is the most efficient. So I think that's where we do see a change within women and men and how we look at things. Women look at the suffering, right? Men look at more of like, what are the numbers? And we can detach from the emotion and look at things from a pure statistical standpoint, right? One of the things that me and Tom talk about is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was great. She's phenomenal. But she was such a bleeding heart that she really wasn't that effective in her fields, right? And if she was more conscious of like, okay, if we brought in more money, if we brought in certain things, she would have been much more efficient in her organization. In that same sense, you need this balance between the male and female, right? We work better together. And I'm actually parodying what Tom Bailu talked about over the weekend, over on Friday. But I agree with him in this aspect that we at times can be too analytical and almost too heartless, and women can be a little too much sympathetic to things that can be manipulated. And so us coming together is important. And so in the same sense, porn is not good for a man because men don't do well in isolation aspect because we become too analytical. And you need to become more emotional. Women need men in this aspect because we do a good job of figuring shit out. Our brain is made for figuring it out, right? On an analytical standpoint.
This conversation can go so many ways right now. That would be epic.
Where do you want to go? Where do we want to go?
Just not safe for work. It's just.
All right. I guess we go. And we're watching the numbers back here. So.
I mean, I'll just give you one example. When you're talking about analytical, I'm like, analytical. That shit's good enough for me. I'm out.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Oh, it's a little off there. Nope, that's not how it works. Shit's working. I'm out.
Honey-do list is what he's speaking about.
That episode of Seinfeld, Master of My Domain, is some of the best television ever to have existed. And for you youngsters out there watching, if you've not watched Seinfeld's episode, Master of My Domain, it's just...
Man, dude, I just totally dropped. Everybody we went from 16 people to literally just like, all right, we out. Deuces, dog. Like, this is this woke shit. Look, we got a thumbs down, dude. Dude, I love it. I love it.
You got a thumbs down. How do you give us a thumbs down?
I'm cool with it. I don't even care. Thumb us down. It's all good. Does it affect us when they thumb us down?
No.
Or is it still engagement?
Thumbs up and thumbs down. It's just engagement and watch time. That's.
Oh.
I mean, ultimately, if like everyone gave you a thumbs down, the moderators would come and check what's going on. But
Yeah.
still engagement. Thank you for the great engagement, Mr. Thumbs. It was probably Mr. Joe Mac there because we didn't understand what the fuck he was saying. It was like
Dude,
alien
I love him,
shit.
dude. I love it, dude. I absolutely loved it. I was like,
Man,
my
Pedro,
dude.
I'm reading a book right now. Do you remember the movie The Martian?
Yeah.
And it was written by Matt Damon.
Yeah,
And
Damon,
it was originally a book, and it was written by an author by the name of Andy Weir, who started it out as a blog. And he said, and he started writing chapters, and he would ask the people reading the blog, "Hey, do I have the science right here?" And so The Martian, when it was done, all that science in that whole movie about going to Mars and back and this and that, all of the science is real. You know, it's accurate, the physics, all that kind of stuff, and because they fleshed it out ahead of time, even in the year ahead, you know, in the future, because it was in the future, they worked out the orbital mechanics and where Mars and the Earth would be and all that type of stuff. And he's written a second book. I think he's on like a third book now, but his second book was called Hail Mary, and it's the general premise is that the sun is dying because it has an algae infection that stars get, and you're like, oh, that's kind of illogical. And then when they go through the science of it, you're like, ooh, that's not so illogical. That could work. And how it's basically one guy has to, you know, save humanity and stuff like that, and how he goes about. I'm not to the point where he saves humanity yet. They still could all die, but it's a book written by an American author, so I'm guessing humanity lives. But it's so good. It's so good. It's just like The Martian, but on like a grander scale for the physics and all that type of stuff. And and the word alien comes about because he goes off into space, and you know, it turns out we're not alone out there in this book. And it's so good. It's got me gripped, and I've actually got time after this show set aside before I get on to something else to read the book for like an hour.
That's what's up. Oh, do you want me to do you want? I agree with Rumac to a certain extent, but let us not forget that in our Revolutionary War, we had the French that helped us out as well, right? It's the French. They also gave us money and got things up and running, right? So without them, there's a reason why they gave us the exactly helped, but they didn't.
You're right. They got to do it themselves.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but and that's what I'm really speaking about. You know, it's like, look, give them, you know, without the help of the French, with helping us get war supplies and all that other stuff, and there's no way. We would be part of Canada. Just
we'd be lower Canada.
Yeah, we would.
We'd be even more woke now.
Oh dear Jesus, dude! Imagine if the French, we like didn't help, bro. Like that would be absolutely crazy. Like if you think about that, like if they didn't
we
really help,
needed their help. Yeah, our manufacturing industry wasn't as good as it needed to be in order to manufacture weapons. We had to import a bunch from France, or at least import a lot of the raw materials, because our steel making and blacksmithing industry was still pretty small. And as we all know, in war, you go through that shit really fast. But Rumac, you're right. The citizens want to be free. They got to do it themselves. They can take aid from, we can help. But if they don't really want to be free and we go blast everybody, and then they're like, okay, when they just continue about their lives doing the same thing, then it'll be a new guy. And there's a great example of that is Russia. A great example. And the Russians were, under the thumb of the Soviet Union for so long. And in 1991, they were free. Yay, we're free. Everything's great. Wasn't it when Putin take power in 96?
Yeah.
I mean, they had a good 4-year run of essentially, a flirt with freedom, and it didn't work. Just the next strong man just came by and said, "All right, we're gonna do it this way and keep our thumb down on all of you," and that's what everyone was used to. And they're like, "Okay." I mean, the Soviet Union didn't blow up because everyone was outraged and said, "That's it, we're done." It blew up because they wrecked their last economic plan, really screwed the pooch, and people were hungry. and they were like, hey, this isn't working out so well. And the government's just kind of ceased coming to existence anymore. Yeah, they just stopped working because they couldn't even pay themselves. And then as soon as one of them kicked over, then the stands all broke away, and then all the European countries broke away, and then the Soviet Union Gorbachev threw the towel and said, all right, we're done with it. But it wasn't because everybody was in revolt. I mean, obviously the Poles were in revolt. I mean, but that's one group. But most of it, and since then the Poles have done a fine job, I might add. They said, we want to be free of this mess and lead ourselves, and they did it. And now Poland is like the darling of Europe, with a great economy, no immigration problems, no terrorism problems.
Dude, they're straight up like, they're not like immigrant. Bam, sorry, you ain't come. Dude, they have such a tight knit border. It's not even they patrol it, bro. They are not messing around.
I love the videos from their borders. People cut it and get in, and they just come up, get the fuck out.
Yeah, they FO was it FO?
Yeah, FAFO. Fuck around, find out.
FAFO.
They're like, no. Yeah. They're like, no, none of this France stuff where you just come in and then get on the dole. Or over in the UK, they just let them in and say, oh, we'll give you $9,000 a month for all you and your family to survive here in Mayfair in London. And no. Oh, that's not how this works. And that's how we need to do it here, too. No, you come in the legal way, or you don't come in.
It is really being ran by the people. That's the part that's crazy. And here's the other part. With Putin came in, and he came off as, he did it he came in, he ran for office in, I think it was 1999, early two.
Yeah, that's the phony thing. Right. He didn't actually run for office. He was essentially appointed prime minister.
Right. Well, it's the same idea for Xi Jinping too, right? It's came in, he kind of ran, everybody kind of voted for him, and then after about two wins of doing that, he's like, all right, I'm just gonna be leader forever. All right. And people were like, okay, right? But they were petrified of him in the same sense. That's kind of like what happened, like you said. So I think there's a lot of things that correlate there. But ultimately, I think we're running against a period in time where it's a different time. It's 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And here's the thing people want to say, it's because Trump got in. No, we were going to get here sooner than later, but we would have been at a weaker standpoint. We already saw Biden really start to fight against Xi Jinping and step against him, especially on a financial stance where he went against a lot of stuff that was going on with China and South America, right? He was trying to stop. You look at what was happening with Peru and the Belt and Road Initiative, right? All that stuff that was correlated. But he wasn't putting such a strong hand into it because he was being more of a politician. If we had kept the situation going with, let's say Kamala gets involved and she became president, I don't think that she would have been just okay allowing China to do what, because if you look at the policies that Biden was doing, he was still against China. I mean, he makes it very clear. Biden made it very clear, I would never go hand in hand with China because of what they did with their human rights situation going on with the Uyghurs, with the Christian populists. They're literally putting them in internment camps. So all that to say is, people want to say the world is upside down because of what Trump is doing. No, I think Trump just sped it up and put America back in a stronger position. We would have already, I think within 8 years, let's say so Kamala gets in. After 8 years, China would have been at a point where they would have taken Taiwan. They would have come in and pushed so hard on the South America front that America would have, the next president may not have been Trump, it would have been somebody else who would have been like, okay, enough's enough, right? And by that time, we now, again, we have a populist movement, but it was just brought on much quicker because Trump got involved. But that Make America Great, again, Trump is only the symptom of that mindset. And it's one of those things I always talk about, because it's really important to understand the full scope of what was actually happening. And I don't think it's a bad or a good thing. It's just the time of peace was ending. It was a time for war, a time for peace, a time, and there's always a resettling. So it's really interesting to see where we're at. Trump is ripping the Band-Aid off and got my glasses on, bro. Sorry. I got it. It started to sound like Trump is ripping the Band-Aid off and trying to settle it now. It's not going to be, absolutely. It's not going to be comfortable. Absolutely.
Hey, Stevie.
Yeah. We are the world. We are the children. We are the one to make a better day. Anyways, so I just think it's interesting where we sit right now, and people want, like you said perfectly, he's just ripping the Band-Aid off, because we were headed that way either way, and America was going to sooner or later get pissed. I mean, you were going to have the rednecks down south being like, what the F? People don't even realize that. Last year, Biden's administration, literally the South almost completely pulled away from the Union, and we almost had a revolutionary war. Excuse me, civil war, and we almost had another civil war, and it was only because Biden stepped down that we didn't. I mean, literally, National Guards were being called up in Louisiana, in Florida, in Kentucky, all these places where it was just straight up you will back you if Biden pushes this, if he keeps pushing it, because Texas was saying, we're going to close the borders if you don't. And it's kind of crazy where we're sitting at. And again, it would have happened. But I think Trump, and what his movement is, he did quell a lot of the issues. Real interesting to see also his delegations and his geopolitical moves down in South America, and the fact that the Malay as well as Bukele is taking over. We're watching Peru starting to step in, and a lot of people are kind of coming on, getting pissed with China. I am in the South. There was a vote to leave the Union here in Texas. Yes, people do not realize this. That was a real thing. That almost happened, and people don't even realize that.
Texas was a country for a brief, 5 years or something like that?
Yep, they had a whole entire system. They had their own money, started print. Absolutely. Petition, rather. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was a real thing, not a vote, but a petition.
They even ended up with their own their own electricity grid. See how well that worked out. And they hadn't signed any agreements with neighboring states to help with snowplows either. And so when they get blasted with snow, can the people from Oklahoma or Mississippi come and help? No, we're Texas. We can do it our own. Meanwhile, the cars are,
and it's 1 inch of snow.
Right, not even.
We had 6 inches of snow this weekend.
Pedro, I left you a note on the timer there.
Ooh, time to go. Okay, gotcha. Alrighty, my friend. Well,
yeah, we've been on the air for a long time. We're gonna do a raid today. There's not a lot of people on Rumble's live stream here today, and I can raid anybody. I can pick one of the top shows and I think, but I'm gonna raid somewhere where I found Mr. Rumack commenting. Also, I might add. Living Online. It's not necessarily a live show. It's just a guy that puts together a bunch of news quotes and runs it over and over and over again. But we're going to raid that here in a few minutes. So we wrap up the show here with our end of the show, good news feelings and all that type of stuff. Here, let's see if we can... Where is my mouse? Why did I lose my mouse?
You're right there, buddy.
Yeah, hold on. I just lost my mouse there for a minute. All right, everybody. That's all we got for you today. Let's see what Bitcoin's going out at here today. And the great graphics machine here next to me on the TradeWave app. 93,000 down a little bit today. Volume very low today. During the show, Pedro, we only had $1 billion traded. That's a very low amount.
Oh, that's it.
Usually it's 3 to 4 billion in the 2 hours during the show. Must be, as we said, it's Dr. Martin Luther the King Day. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, everyone out there, thanks for watching us today. We're going to raid another channel. Participate in the raid for us. When it says, do you want to participate in it? Choose yes and go over there and make at least one comment saying Striking and Pedro sent you. It helps us out. It's part of that whole engagement thing that Rumble is promoting. So we're going to see you guys later. I'm going to do the raid right now and sign off for the show. Everybody have a great day. As always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. Man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 noon. So, see ya!
Peace.
And then here, after everyone's gone, I'll run the credits. Adios, amigos! Bong!